Hey, it's David again with Matt here at the Berkeley booth. We landed MLF champion Scott Suggs and Cup champion and $1 million winner champion Scott Suggs. We got a millionaire here with us. How you doing, Scott?
I'm great, man. As you know, hey, what is it not unbelievable? I mean, every time we come here, every year, each of these classics, you wonder how much bigger and better can they get, and then you turn and look at this again. I mean,
you thought last year Birmingham was cram-packed, and this year it's a little more spread out, but it's still full.
Yeah, but I mean, still though, in the prime hours during the day, yesterday morning, it was like fighting through a honeysuckle thicket, deer hunting, trying to get somewhere. You know, it was so packed with people, and I mean, it's really awesome. But this sport just keeps pounding away. We're always going to be here.
Speaking of pounding away, let's talk about Major League Fishing. How awesome was that? I mean, the emotion, the score tracker, the wind,
You know, the most amazing thing about that is I didn't know what to expect going into these. I started out in the selects, and you know, to start out in the Geico selects and go from there all the way to that Summit Cup deal. But what was so fortunate for me is that very first event on Lake Tenfiller. That lake set up perfect to the way I love to fish, and especially for the time of year. I just come off of another lake fishing that exact same pattern. So when I rolled into that deal, everything just clicked for me right off the bat, and I never got to feel that pressure really being behind, you know, too far. I was behind in that when it came back, but I mean, everything worked out for me on my first event. So to go into that Summit Cup level and to get in there and then Kevin run off and hide from me in the first round, you know, and I'm having to fight my way back just to get in and get McClellan by an ounce. I realized then what Major League Fishing is all about, and it's all about you better have a good heart when you go into it because you're going to get it tested.
Yeah.
The stress test happens at Major League Fishing.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine just the updates and knowing what's going on, and they're right there on your heels. You need one more fish, and
it's crazy. And then the funny thing about it is, I mean, it was funny for me, but not for Mike. But when I beat him by 1 ounce in that first round and everything, when it airs on TV, I get this message on my cell phone. He said, "Dude, I didn't mind it as bad when it happened, but after watching it, he said, I hate you." Sweet. So I mean, it was just those little things that happen like that on top of it. It's so awesome, and to get to fish with those guys. I started my career out at bass fishing with them, and we kind of parted, you know, in different ways, fishing different tours, and to get back with them and everything. I mean, it feels like being back home.
What about it being in Maine and, you know, being smallmouth and then the last lake is mainly largemouth?
You know, that was a cool deal too, to go up there to Maine, places you knew nobody had any information there. We were all on an even playing field. And the first 2 or 3 rounds, or the first 2 rounds I fished, the water super clear, a lot of rock in these lakes and everything. And then I pull up to this one and I'm prepared for that, you know, again. And I had caught some in the round that Kevin wants a big on a swim jig, a lot of smallmouth on that. And I started out trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And I made like 5 casts on my first stop with it. Things just didn't feel right. I kept looking at that water and looking at the different vegetation and stuff, and I'm going, you know, maybe I better try something. You know, it happened there. Like some of my very first casts, I caught 2 largemouth to tip me off real quick. And when you get that early tip off, you can rock. You know, you can stay in the game. It seems like it's those getting behind at the end of those first periods. Oh yes, that then your head starts rolling and you don't start thinking in that manner. You're thinking about catching up. That's all you're thinking about. And oh my gosh, it's the best format I've ever fished in my entire life. It is. It's really been a fun deal, and I think